Hey folks, something just came, dropped off by courier. Cut into this one here. It's a big item. So sorry for the. I think I'll get it all in frame of my usual shooting location, but okay. A box within a box. Let me get this one down from here. Get the other one out. It's heavy. I know what it is. Okay, let me haul it out of here. There we go. Foam off this end. Foam off this end. And here it is. It's a Siglent SPD 3303XE power supply. Very nice. 3 channels. Comes with USB cable. I'll be hooking it up. It also, you'll notice here, it has a LAN connection. That's the one I'll be using. So another USB cable to put into that huge big box I have of USB cables I don't need. Alligator clip to spade lug cables. And alligator clip to banana cables. Nice. Well, they're not silicone by any means, but they seem to be fairly large. They have some writing on them here. So let me see that. They're rated for 600 volts. They're number 18 gauge. That should be plenty for. This is a dual 0 to 32 volts, 3.2 amps, and plus it's got either 2.5, 3.3, or 5 volts at 3.5 amps over here. And one thing I really like about this unit is that each channel is individually switchable on and off. My other unit that it's replacing, my Corad, is a nice supply too, and it can handle more current, but it's enormous. It takes up way too much bench space, and when you turn the power on, all 3 outputs go on at the same time, which is not always ideal. And if you turn the power off completely and turn it back on, the outputs come up live too if they were live when you turned it off. So that's also not ideal. It doesn't happen with this one. So that's just it. Just a quick look at it here. Let me power it up for the first time, but I'm not going to have a review of it. I've got some other stuff I need to get done today, but we may go and do a very quick video showing some of the features at some point in the future. So we got to set this up for 120 volts. It is already set up. I'll have to clean that up later. Yeah, that'll bug me. There it is, and let's power it up for the first time. Okay. Now I just want to verify that my claim is true here. Now if I power it off, it's a nice real power switch. It's not a soft switch, so it's not drawing any current when the switch is off. And I'm hoping those two outputs go off when it boots. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so next up is this. I know what this is. Yeah. More of these little project cases. I like these. Yeah, these are nice little cases actually, and I don't really have a project in mind for these two right now, but you know, the Ferengi Rule of Acquisition 45 expander die. So yeah, now unfortunately these are completely missing the front and back plates. Not here at all. So I will be putting in a complaint on that. That's too bad. Well, I did acquire them. Okay, next. The double bagger. Ah, okay, my little Molex, polarized Molex connectors, yeah. I like these for power supply connections, for anything that's polarized, anything that has maybe data and ground or voltage and ground. These are great. Ah, yes, LED lights. These are for the lab itself. I don't like the lighting in here, so I'm gonna put a strip up along the roof, or the ceiling here, just right above the bench. And I'm hoping these lights here, how do they package them like this? This is incredible. I'm hoping it will provide better illumination than what I've got right now. The illumination is behind me, so I tend to get my shadow into everything. I don't like that. This will be directly over the bench surface. And these were featured recently. I don't know how recent it was, in Big Clive's channel. And he said they weren't great, but he did detail what you could do to make them better. And I'm not going to be using these outside. They're going to be mounted directly to a piece of wood that'll be running the length of the bench. And they'll shine down. And I'll just set the angle to make them just right. And hopefully they'll provide really good, even light along the bench. Next up we have this. I got this at a local electronics store, and it's used. It's a Tektronix P6205 FET probe. So it's an active probe. It came a complete set. Absolutely amazing. You never see these complete anymore, but it was a complete set with a manual in the case. This is a really, really nice active probe. Only 2 picofarads on the input and 750 megahertz bandwidth. This is going to be a really nice addition to the lab. I also got this at the same electronics place. They deal mostly in used stuff. They got some new computers and stuff like that there, but as far as electronics goes, it's mostly surplus stuff that they get in and get rid of one way or another. Sometimes if it's not repairable, stuff like that, they'll just destroy it and recycle it. But if it's working, as this is, they sell it. Now, I paid $50 for this. It's a little bit more than you'd pay for an old fluke meter like this, but this one's special. It's got the long range ohms on it. So it's got a 2 ohm scale, because it's a 3.5 digit meter. Yeah, so it'll actually measure down into milliohms, which is fantastic for a meter of this type. Back in the day when this came out, that was a really nice feature, and it still is. So it's a welcome addition to my lab, especially over there on my vintage electronics bench. And I'll do a video on this, just going through it to see if it needs any repairs or calibration or something like this, and introduce you to it at that point. But it's a great little meter. Up next, from Amazon. These guys own the world. I like this packaging way better than their plastic packaging. I don't know why they can't send everything out in this packaging. But there you go. What have we here? Okay, a number of SMA attenuators, 30 dB, 20 dB, and 10 dB. These are more tools that I'm getting together for use with my Tiny SA Ultra. So these are great addition to my Tiny SA tool bench. And I think this here is a DC blocker. Yeah, so that's a DC block, which is handy to have with the Tiny SA because it can't handle much DC voltage on the input. Or at least I hope it's a DC block. Good Lord. Yeah, DC block. Great. Wonderful. This is next, and this is the kind of packaging I don't like. This one doesn't need a knife to tear it open, but it also requires recycling rather than just composting or putting in our fire to burn it. Okay, what do we have here? I think I know what this is. I think it's switches, push button switches. Which are needlessly overpacked. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So these switches here, if you didn't see my video on the power fail safety switch, that's what these are going to be for. I was going to build several more of them, and I found some nice relays too, some nice double pole, double throw relays that I can use. So these don't have to be a high current switch at all. They'll just be switching the coil of the relay. I'll leave a card up there so you can go see that and know what I'm jabbering about right now. And this is the last item. This is the item that goes along with that scope probe. These are rarer than hen's teeth, and if you can find them, they're very expensive. I saw one at TE Equipment, or the T Equipment, someplace like that. One of the big electronics retailers, online retailers, and they wanted $4,000 for it. Needless to say, I didn't pay that much for it. I could never afford to pay that much for an item like this. But this also came with a manual. And what it is an 1103 power supply. And what it does is it takes, oh, it's nicely packed. What it does is it takes two active probes, and supplies power to them, and then provides outputs to go to scopes that don't have power supplies for active probes. I don't know if this one works or not. It's supposed to work, but I can fix it if it doesn't. So that's it there. So the probes will go in there, and then that comes out, those two channels come out to your scope. So that this goes in like that into the and then you take that and go into your scope. Very nice indeed. Very, very nice. Locks in place. Ah, good stuff. Good stuff. Looks like this is a little bit bent here. I'll open up that and see if I can fix that. So I'll do another video on this, on how it all works, and show you folks how you can run active probes on a scope that doesn't normally take active probes. Missing some feet too. I got some feet I can stick on here. But yeah, I paid 300 Canadian dollars for this. It might sound like a lot, but to be able to get active probes for my Siglent scope here, there's no, even Siglent don't make an active probe to work with it because it doesn't have the power supply output. But even if I had like two models up from this that does have the ability to take an active probe, one single active probe from Siglent, who are very reasonably priced, one single probe is about $1,300 Canadian. So I got another one of these probes coming as well, which I found from a US supplier, and two probes and the power supply together are going to only cost me around about $650 Canadian, so less than one half the price of one active probe from Siglent, and I've got two active probes from Tektronix that I can use with my Siglent scope. So I think that's it's going to work out very well. Anyway, that's it. If you liked it, please hit like. If you want to ask some questions, put it in the comments. If you want to see more stuff from me, hit subscribe. And thank you very much for joining me today. Bye.